always seek the help of a myofunctional orthodontist who can, this all can be corrected with simple exercises and simple appliances. Simple exercises and appliances can help to correct these muscle imbalances, to achieve a normal swallowing pattern. Okay. So this is about swallowing. The next thing is breathing. So what is normal breathing is breathing through your nose. We notice a lot of children breathing through mouth, especially when they are sleeping or when they are doing something relaxed. You see them breathing through their mouth. So when you breathe through your mouth, automatically you open your mouth, your lower jaw is dropped forward. Along with your lower jaw, your tongue position is also dropped forward. So you're maintaining this posture for a very long time. So what happens is, again, the muscle force that is needed for proper wide jaw development is missing there. Okay. So breathing has to be corrected at an early age. Breathing can have, mouth breathing, especially mouth breathing, when the breathing is not proper, it can have devastating effects on the face. Okay. It can bring your upper jaw forward, or it can bring your lower jaw behind. It can cause a crooked nose. Okay. And in return, on your inside your mouth, the upper teeth can come forward. All the crooked teeth issues can develop because of mouth breathing. There is a typical facial feature for mouth breathing, which is called as a long face syndrome, we call. That is, the child develops, by the time they are around 13-14 years of age, they'll have a very long face with a backward chin, a backward rotating jaw, and all such things. And one thing in mouth breathing is important is mouth breathing and your facial development, they are like a double-edged sword. Okay. When your face is normally developed, you see in this the second picture, when your face is normally developed, your facial development is normal, your airway is 100% open. That is, airway is the space from nose to your lungs. That space is called airways. Okay. So the air that you breathe through your nose, for it to efficiently go into your lungs, that airway should be patent. It should be 100% open. When the facial development is poor, or when there is a narrow jaws, the upper or lower jaw is narrow, the development is not proper, the airway space is also reduced. Okay. So when the airway space is reduced, ultimately breathing troubles develop in children, like allergies or cough, asthma, and such problems can develop. And again, nowadays a lot of children have snoring issues during sleep disordered breathing. All these are mainly because the airway is compromised. So this airway compromise, one important factor is because the jaws are not formed properly, the jaws are not developed properly. So mouth breathing has to be corrected as early as it is seen. See, for example, if you see the mouth breathing is because of certain respiratory conditions, then we refer you to an ENT specialist or someone to rectify what the problem is, whether the child has an adenoid problem or tonsil problem or allergy problem. Or sometimes what happens is this mouth breathing can become habitual. They would have had a cold infection or something during which they were breathing through their mouth. Even after the infection has been subsided, they have the habit of, they get a habitual mouth open position. So this habitual position, again, it has to be corrected using simple appliances and simple exercises, which can be done by the child. Just 1 hour a day they spend, in few months or 2 to 3 months time, they can help establish a normal development of the face by correcting these functions, swallowing and breathing and all such things. And the third thing I want to tell is about thumb sucking and other habits, not just thumb sucking, any finger sucking. Okay, when there is a sucking habit, again, as I mentioned earlier, the force of the muscles, that is the role of the tongue and the lips on the teeth is being disrupted. Okay, so till 3 years, thumb sucking is fine, but beyond 3 years, if this habit is persisting, then it has to be intervened at the earliest. Otherwise, it can cause a permanent facial changes in the child. It can affect the growth of the face, and in turn, it can affect the development of the teeth or the positioning of the teeth. So it is basically the jaw bones that is the foundation. So the teeth are placed on the jaw bones. When the jaw bones are formed well aligned and formed well, it is wide and growing normally, the teeth have enough space to develop well, get well aligned. But when this is being disrupted because of any imbalance in the muscles caused by the abnormal swallowing or mouth breathing or habits like thumb sucking, it can get disturbed. So on a whole, these are the habits that can affect these are the habits that can affect facial development in a child. And one other second, so seeing all these things, what you need to know is, if you feel that your child's teeth is going crooked, what you have to do is, when you have to bring them for a first checkup, so when this all these can be corrected, or when these breathing habits or swallowing habits or sucking habits can cause a permanent alteration in the faces, when they are allowed to persist beyond 6 or 7 years of age. Because after 7-8 years is the main time during which most of the growth of the facial structures occurs, the growth of the upper jaw. They get over by around 8-9 years of age. Again, the growth of the lower jaw, they get completed by around 12-13 years of age. So this time of growth during which the child is actively growing is very important for intervening at the correct time. So if there is a problem in a muscle, or if there is a teeth alignment problem, if we are brought at the right age, if they are brought at the right age by around 6 or 7 years of age, they can be corrected or intervened by using simple corrections in lifestyle, or changes in lifestyle, or simple exercises can be brought about to get a well aligned teeth. See, we all think that braces is only after 13 years of age. No, braces can be after 13 years of age. Braces is only correcting the symptoms, but correcting the cause is more important for proper functioning. Okay, so for a proper function, to have a well-defined normal facial development and a healthy airway, and a proper swallowing and chewing pattern, we need a proper functioning of the muscles and jaw structure. So this, whatever causes, has to be eliminated at an early age. So bringing a child for an orthodontic review by around 6 to 7 years of age is very important. Okay, so because I see many parents, they bring their kid at around 12 or 13 years of age, after 14 years of age or 15 years of age, and they say the teeth are crooked, we waited till this time because we wanted all the milk teeth to fall and want the permanent teeth to come, and we need to put braces. But after allowing all the damage to happen, what is there in removing teeth and putting braces? Okay, so the point is, we have to stop them at the earliest. What is the causative factor? When you eliminate the causative factor, automatically an invasive treatment like braces or extracting teeth for braces can be avoided. Okay, when you have a normally well aligned wide jaws. And one other important thing which plays a main role in facial development is our diet. See, there's one interesting study which has been done by an Australian scientist. He studied in the Australian Aborigines in the Neanderthal population. He found that all the tribal people, they didn't have any crooked teeth problem at all. He studied hundreds of skeletons, and none of the skeleton had any crooked teeth problem. All the teeth were well aligned. They were all, and including the third molars, the wisdom teeth. How many of us have functioning third molars now? Most of us have third molar issues. Wisdom teeth is either not erupted properly, it's not coming into line properly, it has been already removed at an earlier age. So many issues. But these people, they had a full functioning 32 set of teeth. So this is because of their diet. Okay, the roughage diet. They used their teeth a lot. They used it for chewing, biting. They didn't have the style of refined food or well cooked food those days. So they had to eat semi cooked food, or they had to eat a lot of, they use their teeth a lot basically. So we also have to encourage our children to use their teeth. Okay, give them hard foods to bite. It's okay to break a nut with your teeth, or to have sugarcane or raw carrot. Everything that doesn't need to be given in an easy to feed way for children, like always cutting and giving, and or all soft foods like. So when you use your teeth naturally, that the reason, there is a scientific reason why these ancients had a well-aligned teeth, is because they had a natural wear and tear of teeth. It is very important for the teeth to have space, as by 12 years, 13 years, your second molars develop. And after that, only by 18 years, your third molars develop, after 18 years. So that natural wear and tear of teeth is very important for the teeth to get aligned properly, and for the erupting teeth to have new space, for the full space to erupt properly. So this, and third thing is why it is important to maintain your baby teeth, that is the milk teeth. Okay, many people they neglect milk teeth. Even if there is a cavity in the milk teeth, they skip treating it, saying it is anyway going to fall, why to treat it? But why it is important is, especially for having a well aligned teeth, see, it is in the space of that milk teeth the new permanent teeth is going to come. So when this space is being lost because of a cavity, what happens is automatically the teeth that is behind will drift and come forward and will encroach that space. So for the new erupting teeth, there will not be sufficient space. Again, when you extract, if a milk teeth is extracted at an early age, if a teeth has to be fallen only at around 12 years of age, but because of decay, a tooth is extracted by around 7 years, 6 years, 7 years, 3 years, 4 years, milk teeth is removed. For the next few years, this space is lost. This teeth will move forward, and it will encroach that space. Then we have to give special appliances to hold that space, to maintain that space. Certain things, all such things are there. So it is very important to maintain a healthy milk teeth, deciduous teeth. Okay. So to maintain a healthy deciduous teeth, again, so coming to a general aspect, I would like to cover everything. See, this cavity is a preventable thing. It is a lifestyle disease. Cavity, decay, and all, they are basically lifestyle diseases. So it is easily preventable. In children, when you see in children in their milk teeth, one easily noticed thing, which many parents skip to notice, is called small white spots on the teeth. Many teeth have, see, many parents ask me, what is this, calcium deficiency, or what is it, why is the white spots in the teeth? These white spots in teeth are early indicators that a cavity is being going to develop on that teeth. They are the early markers or the early indicator. Okay. So that is that the mineral in the teeth is being lost because of a cavity. That next stage, it becomes, turns little brown, and the most severe stage, it becomes fully decayed, and the teeth is fully become small, or it is broken, and all such things happen. So these, when you notice these white stains in teeth, so what can be done is, from the time a baby is born, dental hygiene has to be taken care. Even from newborn child, after each feed, you can use a wet clean gauze and wipe the baby's mouth. And by the time their first teeth develop, you can use a small bristle brush to clean to brush their teeth. And till they learn to swallow or spit it out. Okay, you can encourage spitting. From 1 year of your, the child should, baby will understand. So if you tell them spit it out, you can show them how to spit. They will learn to spit the toothpaste out. If they fail to, if they don't learn, before learning to spit it out, you can use a corn flour based toothpaste. There are certain cornstarch based toothpaste. Once they start spitting, we have to use a low fluoride toothpaste. This fluoride has the property to prevent caries. And again, one most important thing is, once the teeth are developed, nighttime feeds should be avoided, because the milk that is staying in the teeth is the reason for those white chalky pear spots to develop, which in turn forms into decay. Or even if you feed them at night, it is important that you wash their mouth or rinse their mouth with water well. So the milk deposits should not be there on the teeth. And anything they eat, be it any snack or anything they eat, after any meal or any snack, rinsing the mouth with plenty of water is very important. When a food stays in that for 3-4 hours time, it is that area of the tooth where the cavity develops. So it is important to gargle and rinse the mouth well. And it is important that till 6 years, parents should brush teeth for the children. The children, they don't have the dexterity to brush themselves. And again, from a dentist point of view, there are many treatments that can prevent caries. Like, for example, the first one is sealants. The cavities and the deep fissures where there is a tendency for the food to get lodged, we apply a small paste and seal it, so that the food lodgement will not be there. Similarly, there are fluoride treatments. Fluoride is an element which is very friendly to the teeth. It strengthens the teeth. It prevents mineral loss from the teeth. That is, it does not allow cavity to take place. So this fluoride treatments, this can be done once in a year. So see, not all children will be prone for decay. Some children will eat a lot of chocolates, but still they will not have cavity. But some parents say, my children doesn't eat chocolate, doesn't eat biscuits, but still why are these cavities developing? Because every child's enamel structure is different. Some have a naturally strong enamel. Some children's enamel are soft. So in that cases, they can easily form into cavity. So it is important that we take necessary dental hygiene precautions for every child. And if a child is seen to be more prone for cavity, then more precautions has to be taken naturally. So,
Shireen,
yeah,
Shireen, sorry to Shireen.
yeah, Aishwarya, this is coming to an end.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
we have another I think 4 minutes or 5 minutes.
Okay.
So I think you have covered most of the important things.
Yeah.
And please share your email ID in case the session ends. It will be difficult for everybody to rejoin.
Okay.
So I think you have completed it, right? Anything
That's
more
it.
you want?
No, that's it. The main
Yeah.
important things I've covered.
So I think we will have another session entirely dedicated to dental hygiene. I think that will be better because due to the lack of time, we were rushing a little bit in the end. So we can have another session dedicated to that. Please share your email ID. I think, yeah, I can see it now.
Okay.
Does anybody have any questions? We don't have much time. So we will try to answer it. I mean, I think 1 or 2 we can take, I think. We just have 4 more minutes before the session ends. whoever has questions, please type it in the chat box. We'll try to answer them. And thank you, Shireen.